We live. Welcome back, all you beautiful people, to the We Got Action podcast, episode 71 coming at y'all. And today, the NFL playoffs are set in stone. We got our matchups. Wild card round is coming up this weekend, and I'm excited. We're going to dive into the matchups. We're going to dive into predictions, who we think is the favorite to win them all. Stay quiet during that portion. And then we're going to talk about just something I kind of thought. I think most of the awards are kind of set in stone at this point, but I think there's one that, is, in my opinion, is up for debate, should be up for debate at least. And then we've got already 3 head coaches that are out. Touch on those, see what kind of the next moves are for the franchises. And then maybe we can kind of revisit our Bears talk because, yeah.
A little up in the air right now.
Yeah, they didn't do good. And then we'll slide over to the NBA. I got a question I posed to Vitor the other day that I kind of wanted to add a team to and then see what you kind of had going in on that, Dan. And then another question. Yeah, both of these were
we talked about it.
So talk about a couple teams that are sliding that should be doing better, and then a couple guys who maybe should be getting some more.
We can touch on the
MVP
trade too, unless you touched on that, Danny. I don't know if
OG?
Did you have a chance. Yeah. Did you have a chance?
I don't think we did do a video on that.
No, not yet.
So we can visit that.
Because that would have been right around the time of.
That was after. That was after.
Right after Dan did.
Well, it would have been right after. Yeah.
Probably the day after, knowing our look.
No, it was a Thursday or a Friday. I think it was a Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had them both playing. I had them both in fantasy, and they both missed their games that day.
Yeah.
So let's go into the playoff preview matchups. I mean, what are we gonna do here? I'm trying real hard not to, talk back to all those, haters on the comments. But hey, I told y'all about the Dolphins. I told y'all about the Bills. But
hey, people were crazy with those comments. They were calling us the clowns from. They were calling you a clown from the circus,
I don't watch football. I never played. I mean, I don't play football. But
the Dolphins' love on our TikToks was crazy. Every time they got blown out and we said something, people were like, "Yo, they're so good. They won 70-20."
Yeah, bro, come on now.
They haven't beat a team over 500 this season. Like, come on.
We're right. We're right.
They beat Dallas. That was it.
Yes, they beat one
by 1 point.
The Patriots have more wins over 500 teams this season, and I'm pretty sure that's all their wins.
So we're gonna go in. First game of the wild card is gonna be at 3:30 on Saturday. We were talking, might be the stinkiest game, but also I think could be a real gritty game.
I don't know.
I can't tell because I don't like Houston's defense. It's the Browns versus the Houston Texans.
Houston defense is solid, but it's not incredible.
Right. Like I don't think it can win them a game, and in the way that Cleveland's defense can win them a game.
Yeah.
So if Cleveland's defense shows up, CJ's gonna have a tough time.
Yeah. And the Texans' defense is typically a run defense. There has been this season, and it's not like Jerome Ford has been efficient at all.
Right.
They haven't really relied on the run like they normally do. They've been airing it out. So matchup-wise, it's probably not the best matchup for the Texans. But hey, they've been proving everybody wrong this season. So,
I agree. Yeah.
They're probably loving this type of matchup.
I think so. And I think them having the home field advantage gives them an edge. I think a lot of people aren't expecting. It feels kind of like the Jaguars from last year.
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't expecting them to be in this spot this early.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see. I'm glad they won. I think they deserve to be in the playoffs after the season CJ put up. Obviously, Tank Dell was on his way to being a Rookie of the Year candidate. Nico Collins having a good year as their number 1/2. Dalton Schultz big year. Devin Singletary obviously taking over back role and the number 1 back role, and being serviceable just like he was in Buffalo. I like the team. I think they have a chance. I don't know if Cleveland's defense shows out. Could be like a 17, kind of 10, 14-10 type.
Well, I'd say too, if Amari Cooper isn't healthy, and obviously like with a heel issue and stuff like that kept him out of 2 games ago now, but if he's able to at least go full speed, that's obviously a better chance for them. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Texans upset. I really wouldn't be surprised.
The Browns.
Like, granted, the Browns are. I mean, they're solid all the way around now.
They have Houston favored.
They have Cleveland favored.
Yeah,
that's what I would think. It's got to be close, though. Cleveland can't be favored by that much.
No.
What do we got on?
Browns are minus 141 favored. Texans 119.
Yeah, minus
2.5.
it's minus 148 plus 124 on DK. So
yeah. And then the spread, if I'm not mistaken, is 2.5 to the Browns.
Yeah, 3 on DK, but
3. Okay, yeah.
Which is a 2.5. That's just DK's way of getting the suckers to bite on the push.
I don't know.
I mean, but yeah, I wouldn't
slanging that thing, man.
Yeah, I'm not, but I just wouldn't be surprised if Houston takes in all the momentum that they have, especially with hosting that game because their fans are hungry for that. I wouldn't be surprised but like you said, it's going to be a low scoring affair. I don't think either team scores 20 points in this.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns.
Okay. So you talked all that to go Cleveland.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Did a little Pat McAfee there.
I'm in the same boat. Like would not surprise me in the slightest to see the Texans win, but the Browns are better across at pretty much every position except for quarterback. So,
Yeah, I like the Browns too, man. I like the way Joe's been able to really air it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the secondary by the Texans. I like him. I really think, like you said, Dan, if Amari Cooper can go, he's gonna have a big game. It feels tough counting CJ out, but
he's been counted out. So
I think I'm leaning on the defense. I think I'm leaning on the defense here. Is what I'm going with. I'm gonna go Cleveland stepping up, leading on the defense like they have all year.
Before we do move on to the next game, isn't this the best wide receiver core, quote unquote, Flacco's had? In Baltimore, no one really, besides running back, he was always solid at running back.
They had Jacoby Jones.
Nah, come on.
I mean, he was more known as a deep threat punt returner, kick returner than an actual receiver.
But other than that, this is the best receiving core he's had to play with. Amari's probably his best wide receiver that he's ever played with in his career.
And Njoku.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say
I would say so.
Yeah.
I don't really like their offense on paper, but
I mean the players are solid, but the system isn't great.
Yeah. All right. Well, what's the next game? What we got next?
Dolphins Chiefs, the Peacock exclusive. For those of you real fancy, Roger Goodell making all the Swifties pay for Peacock just to watch Travis Kelce. This game's gonna be crazy because it's supposed to be like 10 degrees,
not even
borderline blizzard.
Yeah, they're saying I saw pictures. The high was like 5 degrees.
It's gonna be some
today.
Crazy shit. And Miami, obviously, we know plays in 70 degrees and sunny and humid, so it's gonna be real tough for them. I think. There's a stat too is like 0-4, 0-5 or something like that when it's like sub freezing.
Sub 40. So it's like I think it's just sub 40 degree weather. He's like 0-4.
But hey, that's a stroll in the park for me.
Yeah,
I like it cold.
We ain't seen over 40 in how long?
Yeah.
It ain't been cold yet. It's gonna get cold next week.
I don't like the dysfunction of the Chiefs, but I like Mahomes.
Minus 218, by the way, for the Chiefs. Yeah,
that's a lot of value on the Dolphins.
Yeah, plus 180.
There's a lot of value on the Dolphins. The problem I
just don't trust them. I just really don't trust the Dolphins at all.
Miami right now. Because their whole game is based on speed. It's based on getting the open field. And when them conditions are like that, A-Chain can't put his feet in the ground. Tyreek can't put his feet in the ground.
Can't put that ball hurts when it lands in your hands.
Jalen Waddle's still up in the air. Raheem Mostert's still up in the air. So they're banged up. They're banged up in the secondary. They picked up a few injuries again against Buffalo.
Yeah.
I don't like either team right now, to be honest. But I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
I'm not going with the Chiefs. I'm not going with Kelce. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
At this point, you have to go with the experience at that point, especially in those games in sub 40 degree weather and all that.
We've already seen Miami fold down the stretch when they had the division.
The lack of experience was very glaring for them in the how many they needed to win one game.
I didn't think Mike McDaniel coached that bad.
No,
he made good timeouts.
Yeah,
he called good plays. I think.
No, it's just players being
they weren't there. Yeah, Tua made some bad throws, bad decisions.
That defense was terrible.
Obviously, I think Buffalo's defense showed up again.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna go with the experience, like you said, that championship pedigree that you see time in and time out, at least to win this wild card round. I don't know whoever they draw in the second round is gonna be tough. whether it's
And
Buffalo
yeah,
or
the Chiefs defense is
well,
good.
but
Like
Yeah.
their defense is
I think
actually
that's
good
one thing you
this
can
time
actually
around.
count on. Yeah, that's one thing you can actually count on to probably show up, especially in these type of conditions.
the
That
defense
is
is
what's
this is the
probably going
best
to carry
defense
them.
I think they've had.
Yeah.
This is the best defense they've had.
Yeah.
And the worst
100%.
offense. So
L'Jarius Sneed is going to get paid
yes,
the way he's been playing.
Yes, he is. That's like, hey, I'm excited for that matchup because Tyreek, hey, he'll turn somebody in and out.
Yeah, we'll get a full like 20
But
minutes.
it's going to be, yeah. But it's
Gotta
going to be
pay for Wi-Fi
interesting with
just for
the weather conditions. I think are playing the biggest part here. I'm going to go with Kansas City. Are we all across
Yeah.
the board here?
Yeah. Kansas City. Yep.
Do we even need to touch on this one? Because
Yeah, I was about to say I'm taking like
Yeah.
13.5. I think on this. Bills and Steelers in Buffalo.
minus 520.
What's 13.5? It was the spread out, right?
10.
Hey.
Ooh, that's plus money right there, probably.
Yeah, probably like plus 140.
Plus 133.
So I think we're all going with the Bills here. I don't want to count out the Steelers just because their defense is good. And
Well,
you
TJ's
saw
out.
Josh.
Yeah.
TJ's
Right,
out.
I'm just saying, as a unit, they're not a bad team.
Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, they figured out the run game to an extent as well, which is the one worry for the Bills. The one.
Yeah, but so did A-Chain was supposed to be.
Yeah. And he still ran efficiently and ran well.
Yards.
Yeah, he ran
And
well too.
he had like a 25-yard touchdown. He only had 55 yards.
Yeah, he didn't run.
Half of that was on one play.
Yeah, and he didn't touch the ball that many times. His YPC was still good.
Okay, dude. He got blown up a lot
Yeah,
behind the line in the second half.
Yeah, but they didn't give him
The
20
first half,
They never will.
bro,
They're
had
gonna
like
limit that guy.
55 yards in the first half. Come on.
Yeah, I
Don't
mean,
do that.
Najee and Warren are different. They run the ball better, but it's not going to matter them that much when they're running the ball down 14-21.
But you can't run the ball down 14-20.
Right.
They got to do kind
What
of
are they going to do? Have Mason Rudolph air it out?
Well,
Come on.
George
I mean,
Pickens is
even-
big play prone. I mean, I'm trying to stay realistic here. Like it's a playoff game. It's a one
Yeah,
and done.
one and done.
But I just like the way Buffalo's obviously firing on all cylinders. 5 off the rip. They won the division. They're going back home.
It's gonna be
I see
juiced.
it in their eyes. I see it in their eyes. I just feel like they're gonna come out with like 21 in the first quarter. Or like 21 in the first half.
Gabe Davis going to get his 75-yard
Well,
touchdown, then not see the
Yeah.
ball again.
He picked up a
Yes.
knock, so
Yeah.
he might not be ready to go. But I mean,
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
Shakir played against
I was going to say
Miami,
that might be a
really
dub
love
for
that.
Buffalo.
I mean, both Dalton and Dawson had solid games. James Cook, obviously, he's actually feel like he's been brewing because he hasn't had a good game
Yeah.
since Dallas.
Steph hasn't had a good game and
Steph had a solid game. He just didn't find the end zone.
solid, but
Yeah.
He had 7 for 90.
we haven't seen him
He
kind
just
of.
hasn't caught a tutty.
We haven't seen him.
It
go
just hasn't been
crazy
like a
in
dominant
what-
performance
And
from him.
Yeah.
and he had a 75 yarder.
Yeah.
That could have easily been 8 for 140 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Josh just overthrew him.
Yeah.
I think they got it. I think they found something that last game. I think a lot of those easy throws underneath routes to Steph to get Josh
Yeah.
comfortable.
I mean,
But I
some-
also think the Steelers are going to
defense
throw a lot of
never hurts.
blitzes at Josh because when you pressure him is when he kind of makes some of those more errant throws. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm
Bills.
going to go Bills
Yeah.
13.5.
Bills.
Maybe more. I might do more. We'll
Bills,
see.
Bills.
Cowboys Packers in Dallas.
I hope they both lose.
I could not agree more. Could not agree more. Can they both lose? Can they tie? They can tie. How many
know
overtimes
what?
can they go into the
Until they
reach
say,
exhaustion
fuck it,
point?
not worth it.
You know what, man? I'm gonna go with it pains me to say it, but I'm gonna go with Green Bay in the upset.
Oh,
You good?
I'm good.
I know
just
they've
think
been hot
I-
It's
lately, but
it's in Dallas.
I understand.
undefeated.
But you
at
know
home
there's
in Dallas.
there's love in the air.
No, there's not.
There's gonna be some love in the air.
Not in Dallas.
I just think
hey, if this was in Green Bay, I'm on that train. But
Yeah,
I just think that Dallas is gonna fold.
Dak in that offense plays too good.
I had to just change it up. I think it's too easy to pick Dallas, but I just wouldn't be surprised also if Green Bay wins. Actually, I would
To
be
me,
surprised. I can't
I'd
say
be
that.
very surprised.
I'd be
Yeah,
so
I know.
surprised. As good as Love has been lately, like their defense. Last game they came up with big plays and in big
Mhm.
moments, but they haven't been great lately.
But let's be
And
honest, I love Jair, but he gonna get torched.
Yeah.
Yeah?
CD's him right now.
CD put.
I mean, I think he's still number 3 behind Jettas and Tyreek, but
CD just put up
CD
the
is
third
him, bro.
most PPR fantasy points in the
CD
season
is him.
ever. By the way,
Man. Right?
Yeah, I don't really like as much as I know the Cowboys are gonna choke the game away. I don't
It
think
ain't
it's
gonna be
this
this
one.
one.
Yeah, I
it
don't
ain't
think
gonna
it's
be
this one.
And let me just say, Aaron Rodgers is not on the other side of that ball.
Yes.
Give me
Never
Dallas
know.
by double digits.
All right. All right.
Rams
Next one.
Lions.
This is gonna be good.
This
I
is
like
it.
this.
This is the coin flip
This
right
is a
here.
good game.
This is the coin flip right here.
I like this
Honestly,
a lot.
hey, both of these next games with the way the Eagles been playing, we might be looking at another like 9-6 game
Dude,
here.
the Bucks are terrible too.
They're both
I don't know
terrible.
if you watched any of that game this past
Their red
weekend.
zone.
Bro, they were just
Everything.
marching down the field and doing fucking nothing with it. It was
All right. Rams Lions.
I mean, I think the Lions are the better team all around.
Yeah, but the Rams
But
are hot.
that's
I
what I was gonna say,
know.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really get this whole hype train behind the Rams because I don't think they're a great team. But
there was an
somehow-
article-
something about Puka and Coop.
And Kyron.
yeah.
Yeah, but I like that Lions.
I mean,
team.
everybody counted them out to really have a bad year because they bought in the last like 2-3 years with obviously no draft picks anymore and all that. But they did it on the fly like that.
Fun
But-
fact: high draft picks are overrated.
I was gonna say they
Pretty
rebuilt with
much.
like third, fourth, and fifth rounders.
Most of
basically.
the Niners' best players are third, fourth, and fifth rounders, apart from like two.
You just had to throw them in there, didn't you?
Oh,
Yeah, that's
100%.
part of my Bears argument
Just had to throw 'em in there.
when we get there.
Yeah.
Developing talent.
I want Detroit to win, but I think again I'm gonna go with the more experience in this one. I'm gonna go with the Rams on the upset on the road and a homecoming for Matthew Stafford. It's gonna lead the Rams to victory in Detroit. It's tough, but
It's tough, man, because I've seen the Lions play so bad in the first half.
And then
Just be down like
Or vice versa.
21-7, 24-10, and then just come out, score 30. And
or
win the
vice
game.
versa. And like look,
Yeah.
like absolutely.
And the Rams have been so consistent these last like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see if they didn't.
I'm gonna go with you, Dan. I'm gonna go with you.
I'm not picking the Rams. Fuck
I'm
them.
going with the Rams.
Fuck them.
I'm gonna go with you.
I'm picking the Lions. Fuck the Rams.
I'm gonna go with the Rams. Don't you want to beat them then? Wouldn't that be?
I would like to see them.
Imagine beating them, beating the Cowboys, beating the Ravens or the Bills. Hey,
I mean, as much as I love
that's
the
it.
narratives, I would love to just see them all going home as early as possible.
if I'm you, I don't want to play the Lions. I think they could.
I
I think they can get in a shootout with you
If
guys.
you get in a shootout, I don't think their defense has a chance of
That's why I said
containing
shootout.
without.
That's why I said shootout.
See, the thing is, I think we
They
can
can put
stop
up
their
points.
defense. Goff isn't great.
No, he's not great.
He's not great.
But if
But
you
when
give
he's
him time,
on-
ASB can create
Yeah.
space. They got weapons.
The,
They have Laporta's.
Well,
He'll be the
Mhm.
best tight end on the field.
well, he's not playing.
That's if he's-
playing.
I'm talking about in the game against you guys.
No, I don't think he's playing.
At all?
Bro, he got carted off. They're talking. It was basically TJ's injury, but worse.
yeah. That's
He's
why
gotta
everybody now was giving Dan Campbell
gotta
shit
play,
because
no?
of why are you playing your starters? Everything's locked up pretty much.
Yeah,
et
it's
cetera.
because he
Did
has
they
that.
come out and say it was that bad? Did
They-
they
He was
diagnose
carted
it already?
off.
He was he walked off to the sideline, but then had to be carted to the locker room. They broke it pretty quick that he was not returning.
That I remember.
No,
Because
the
it was
official-
what in like the second quarter.
Yeah, the official diagnosis, I don't think they reported, but based
Yeah,
on
they hide
the
that shit.
contact, it was very similar to TJ's injury, a little bit more lateral, which is
Yeah,
terrifying
That is terrifying.
because that's where you can tear. That's where sprained MCL turns into 4 ligaments being torn up. But
So they said this yesterday that Dan Campbell said yesterday afternoon that he has an
TL played on a broken
outside
leg.
shot right
so
now.
did Greg Jennings.
So they have to wait at least the next 2 days, etc. So pretty much he's not looking in line to play. The next 2 days are gonna tell a lot if he's able to play or not.
They shouldn't play him regardless. I know they'd probably need him, but
That's a risk. That's
It's-
yeah.
they don't need to jeopardize the guy who just had the best rookie tight end season ever
They
Mhm.
should.
for a playoff appearance. That's realistically not a Super Bowl like
I'm not
bound
sure if they
team.
can- They can't win without him though if he doesn't play. Maybe hey, flex Jameer Gibbs out there. Maybe
Though they stopped throwing to him later in
they
the
should
season.
just line him up at receiver. To be honest,
Well, he's also their most explosive runner. If you're okay with Monty getting 3 yards every carry, then sure. But The most frustrating thing is a Gibbs owner was checking in on the
I'm still
games.
sticking with the Rams though.
I'm sticking with the Lions. Checking in on the game, seeing like 16 carries for 32 yards and 3 carries for 34 yards.
Eagles
Bucks.
No.
I don't know, man. I mean, the Eagles, if they lose this, everyone's got to go. Everybody.
Who's everybody?
Everybody. No one deserves to stay if they lose this game.
They did cost me like $1,300 at division winner parlay.
Ouch.
I know. We both put it on the same
Oh.
night, Danny.
I
We added the Bills at the last second. Or
yeah.
I added the Bills, and you were like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm in."
Yeah.
And the fucking 1-6 in their last 7 Eagles cost me.
We just needed one more
Dallas.
game.
They needed to not lose the game to.
Dallas.
No, Dallas was fine. They were still a game up.
Yeah.
It was the game after that when Dallas beat.
Shoot, I know what you're talking
Dallas barely beat, or well, didn't beat Detroit, and then they lost to, was it Washington or no, Arizona?
Arizona. Yeah.
Yep, that is what it is. But I'm sticking with the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, until I still can't bet against them. Not there, not here, not against the Bucks. I watched the Bucks struggle to put up points against the fucking Panthers.
Hey, this
That
is
was pretty in
The
a
homecoming for-
must win.
Yeah.
it's a coming out game for playoff bakers. See what happens.
Hey, he played good his last time he was in the playoffs with the Browns.
Yeah.
He played pretty good for them, dude.
I would love to imagine a weekend where I get to see the
Dude,
Rams,
I
the
mean,
Cowboys,
Mike
and the
Evans,
Eagles all go.
Chris Godwin, Cade Otton, Rashad White. The weapons are there if he can get there. And that defense has looked terrible
Oh
for
yeah.
Philly.
Oh yeah.
Kind of all year, let's be
Dude,
honest.
their
Kind of all year.
their linebacker group.
Well, because they gave him all. They didn't re-sign any of them.
Well, they signed Shaq Leonard after he got cut, but he's toast. He's washed beyond. He looks like clay.
Fuck, dude. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
I am.
Come on, Danny.
I'm
go.
with Tampa as well. I mean,
I'm taking
Philly
Tampa
has
Bay.
Philly has struggled so bad that you cannot believe in both sides of the ball at this point, and everything is just unraveling. I'm
taking
sorry.
Tampa Bay.
I've never heard of a contending team change defensive coordinators late in the season like they have, expecting something to change. Just like, especially with Matt Patricia. What has Matt Patricia shown outside of New England?
Show a lot of bad.
I'm sorry.
Can you reword that? What is
Wait.
That's been good.
I'm sorry. Wait. He was also an offensive coordinator for New England 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What does that say?
Well, that's Bill just bringing his friends back and being like, "Hey, come join the
And look,
ride."
and still shit.
Yeah,
But I'm going with the Bucks. I'm going with Mike Evans is going to score a tutty.
Put my little pirate hat on. Yeah,
Mike
they're
Evans is
hey.
scoring a tutty.
bro.
I'm going with it.
I think they got that game out of them last week.
Yes.
What, the like stinky?
Honestly, they were just playing down to the competition. They knew that they were going to win. Their defense showed up. That offense, Carolina's horrible. They were going to be fine. Tampa.
Bryce is the first quarterback I've ever seen where you don't
Circle the
you're worried
ship on
to bet
that one.
150. You're worried to bet 150 plus passing for Bryce. First time I've ever seen that.
Circle the pass. Circle the pirate ship on that one. So,
Barcavius Mingo or whatever his name is.
Okay, let's go. Favorites to win it all, but be realistic here, not biased.
Well, what if your bias is realistic?
No, it's not.
Well, your bias is also realistic. So
I was going to say the Ravens.
the Ravens
yeah.
are probably the best team on both sides of the ball, 100%. But it's got to be.
I just
at some
think
point-
My
that-
realistic pick is the Ravens, but I
just think
that
at this
the
point,
Bills
too,
can
though,
upset them.
the Ravens haven't, like, if you think about it over the course of the entire season, the Ravens haven't had. In the beginning of the season, they had a little bit of that 3-4 game stretch to where they were still trying to figure out that offense with the offensive coordinator, but the defense has always
was
been there.
carrying them.
Mhm.
But I just think that that was the stretch that they had to struggle. The fact that they haven't really struggled in this stretch.
Kind of
and they
scares
found
me. That kind of scares me too, though.
Yeah,
I
because it's
mean,
like it's knocking at the door type of
during
thing.
the game, because we haven't done this since the game. During the Ravens and Niners game, he texted me. He's like, "Yeah, this looks rough," and I'm like, "I'm okay with it. Like, I'd rather get blown out."
Because let's be honest, y'all played that, and then you didn't play any of your starters.
Oh yeah,
So I mean, and now you get to sit a week,
yeah.
and then losing the divisional.
Oh well, lose.
I was gonna say that for the Ravens, sitting. The starters didn't play week.
Well,
18,
that's why Trent played.
and then
this
you
week.
sit a week and watch everybody else play.
Yep.
Dude, Buffalo's gonna be 7-0 in their last 7 against y'all in the conference championship. Come on, bro. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I realistically think there's 3 teams that have a legit shot at winning it, and it's the Ravens, the Niners, and the Bills.
Why are we last?
Because you barely snuck into the playoffs,
What are you talking about?
even though you made it as a division winner. Came down to week 18.
Barely. No, they were gonna not make it in 4th.
Right. They've stared adversity in the face, and they made it their bitch. I think they've had the best defense in that 5-6 game stretch.
Amen.
Since their bye week. Give it to me.
Amen.
But yeah, favorite to
Baltimore.
Definitely the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
But I think the winner of Ravens Bills, if we can make that happen, will be the Super Bowl champion.
I'm hoping they take each other out, and then it's just like
I don't think that's how that works.
Tyler Huntley coming out there to face Fred and the gang.
Horrible.
He didn't look very good.
Tyler,
to be honest.
No.
Oh no.
I mean, he wasn't also throwing to his best guys, but
that man fooled
good.
everybody.
He did not look very good.
That during that one stretch, was it last year, 2 years ago?
It was both. But I think
2 years
last
ago.
year,
2 years ago was the one where everybody was
No.
high on him.
but Lamar missed most of his games last year.
Yeah,
Lamar only played like 10 or 12 games.
yeah, but he had some good games and some real bad ones last year. The first time around, he had those 4 games where he just was great, and everyone's like, "Oh, yeah." I remember you saying you were like, "Oh, fuck it, start Tyler Huntley."
Hey, I'm just saying he still deserves a job.
Yeah.
For
I
Aiden
say so.
O'Connell.
Hey, O'Connell, half the fucking quarterbacks in this entire
I mean, we
league.
saw Joe Flacco come off the couch and be a top 15 quarterback.
Bro,
Oh, that's another
What is
thing I
that?
want to talk about. Comeback player of the year.
it's
Joe
gonna be
Flacco.
DeMar Hamlin,
Joe
but
Flacco.
they're gonna give it to
But what do you
Hamlin
both-
was taking like 3 snaps.
Yep.
No
But that's
pun
what I'm saying
intended.
though. Like, what do you think of that? Because more than likely he is gonna win it.
You rename the award,
yeah,
and then DeMar Hamlin hands it to Joe Flacco and says, "Congratulations on
They're like,
winning my new award."
in honor of your story, DeMar, we're renaming the comeback
Yes.
player of the year as the DeMar
Now
Hamlin.
turn and
Now
hand
give
this
it to Joe
award
Flacco.
Joe Flacco, who came off the couch and made the Browns better.
No, yeah, and
Okay.
we've seen it a few times recently, but comeback player of the year is now not about who had the best season, who
awards
either
are
is
so
coming off an
fucking
injury or a
lame.
down year. It's literally like who's got the best story or who had the worst
awards are
injury,
so lame.
right? Like we're giving guys like, oh, you're comeback player of the year because you broke your leg, but you even though you had 600 yards all season, this guy put up 1,500 after missing the last half of the season with a hamstring, a
Whatever,
strained
yeah.
hamstring, right? Like his injury was worse, so your comeback. No, we have to reward them for the play, right? And it's great. We're all happy DeMar's alive and kicking and playing, but he's playing one snap every game, right? We don't need
He
to
plays special
reward
teams.
him for. We don't got to give him a whole fucking reward just for
Yeah.
Gotta be
surviving.
Joe Flacco.
There's a lot of people who've done that.
Sorry, Dan. We can go to
No, you're
another
good.
award though. Offensive
here.
Rookie of the Year,
It's gonna be CJ.
but it shouldn't be.
Well, Lamar played 3 good games. He's gonna win MVP. So
Well, I don't
Yeah.
think either of your 2 quarterbacks.
no quarterback should win it this year.
Josh Allen should win it.
No, Christian McCaffrey should win it.
Yes. Okay. But then Josh Allen should win it. If
Like,
we're picking a quarterback,
problem is
if
in-
we're picking
yeah.
a quarterback,
Well, that's the problem,
Josh Allen
and that's
should
that's
win
where I
the
was going to get
fucking
to in football again.
If we're picking an
the
outright
quarterback
quarterback, it's Josh Allen.
position is too
But yes,
important.
it is Christian McCaffrey.
It's
He
too
should win
weighted.
the award. That way, Tyreek can also win Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, it's
because
too
he deserves that.
weighted towards these towards quarterbacks, right? So even though Puka just set the receiving yards and receptions record for a rookie receiver, he's not going to get shit
Bro,
because
his
CJ.
best rookie season is better than probably 90% of guys'
Yeah,
best seasons in general.
but
I'm giving it to CJ though. I think it's too hard. I just think it's too hard to ignore because of the fact that like there's
I mean,
actually
he's been
good
great.
coaches. There's actually good coaches around them, and they expect like everybody expected that team to be shit. If we're being
Ooh.
100 to be on, if
we
we're,
all
if
knew
we're-
they would be better than last
was not
year.
gonna be
well, they were gonna
shit.
be, they were gonna be better, but it's not like they had these amazing pieces. You know what? Like they can win the division. Nobody thought that.
The question marks were definitely they're
Especially around the
worst
offense. The
division in
offensive line is
football.
horrible. You
Second
didn't know
worst
that
division.
Nico Collins was going to have this great of a year along with Tank Dell.
I was going to say the question marks were in who was catching the ball because
Yeah.
you knew CJ was delivering it.
Yeah.
And Nico Collins has been a number 2 or 3 his last 2 seasons.
Well,
A number 3 realistically.
3 to 4 more. If
But-
anything.
Yeah. But at the end of the
Brown,
day,
Nico
you didn't
Collins,
expect them to be
Schultz
this competitive.
I definitely. I mean, come on, Danny. It's
Not this competitive.
It's the
Come
AFC
on, stop.
South, Danny.
Stop. Not
it's
this
6
competitive.
games against bums.
Stop. You did not expect this team to be better than Jacksonville. You did not expect this team to compete with Jacksonville.
7-2, and they just fell off the face.
Correct, but still, you did not. But at the end of the day, at the end of the season, Houston is better than Jacksonville. If we're just looking at it without looking at the talent, Houston is better than Jacksonville. You did not expect that.
I still don't think they're better. They got Trevor. That's tough to say. Yeah,
that's another conversation for another day because I don't know what's going on.
Underrated.
The fucking Jaguars have no reason. I mean, Christian Kirk went out and they just. I don't know. Does that mean he should get paid more?
He was already the most. Everyone he got signed. Everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then here we are. They can't throw the ball.
That is an interesting take,
bro. And also, Tank Bigsby might be one of the worst draft picks I've ever seen.
True.
I don't think I've seen this man make a positive game. Like every time I either caught a Jacksonville game or peeped in on the game cast, he was running for negative yardage. Like I've never seen it. It's impressive.
But like CJ, CJ was a number. I just hate that, dude. Like a number 2 overall pick is supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Puka is like
fifth round,
6th rounder.
I think it was
fifth.
Yeah.
Him and Kyron both back-to-back years were 5th round.
What are we doing?
So who do you want to win it then? You want Puka?
I think Puka deserves to win it.
I think we need to create quarterback awards.
But that's why they're going to give it to CJ
and focus
these awards
and focus on
and I get
awarding
that
the
is
true deserving person, right? You can have a quarterback of the year award, make it the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady award, and then let's give out an MVP to the player who had the best year and was the most valuable, not the quarterback, right? Because if we're automatically saying that quarterbacks start with a 50% leg up on any other player just because they play at quarterback.
Well, I mean. But at the same time, too, you can't. If CJ wasn't on or was injured at some point, this team wouldn't be in the position without CJ.
Yeah, and he was injured.
You can say with that, but you can say that if let's say Cooper Kupp was healthy coming into the season, and Puka wasn't performing like this, the Rams might not be in this same position, but they'll still be there.
Production because of how good Puka was.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to look Kupp's way every time because they had another guy. For the first time since probably pre-ACL Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Odell, and then they picked up Odell.
And,
same thing, but like
pre-ACL Odell.
Yeah. Post-pre. Yeah. We gotta clarify the injuries on those guys.
Which one?
I don't know. I don't know. It's tough because Stroud also broke didn't break, but like
he missed
had
games. He would have probably broken.
But he has like some of his stats aligned with like
great
some
season,
of only Tom Brady's stats or some of only like I think it was a Dan Marino or Joe Montana.
Oh, when CJ does it, it's because he's good. When Brock does it,
I mean, look at the teams, bro.
6'4".
I'm sorry. I'm gonna feel bad. I'm gonna feel really bad when you have to pay Brock Purdy $35 million, and he's not gonna do anything else.
Shitting on your bald ass head if y'all fucking lose. Dude, if Brock throws 3 picks, I want you to fucking get down on your knees and tell me you're an idiot. He is not.
I'm not
a top 10 talent. He's not.
I'm not counting tip picks,
bro.
I'm sorry. He doesn't deserve to get top 10 money either, in my opinion.
He's not.
So what does a guy have to do if he plays like a top 10, executes?
Oh, come on!
Almost every single play.
Give him the money and try to pay the rest of your fucking weapons.
Well, by that point, the whole goal is we'll have 2 Super Bowls by then.
Wait! What?
You can't pay him
after 3 years.
Because then he doesn't have all the fun. Look at the Chiefs. Look what they did.
You need to win. You need to win one first.
They do need to win first.
Yeah.
You need to win one first.
The goal is to have one or two by the time he's due for.
Try and pay Brock Purdy $35-40 million and see who the fuck he has to throw to after that.
Well, we'll be fine.
It's gonna be nobody.
We've already got long-term contracts tied up.
It's gonna be nobody.
Debo's already tied up. CMC's tied up. Oh, you will get tied up.
But then you can't tie up.
Yeah, cap's
gonna block for him.
The cap's
Who's
not
gonna play the defense for him?
I know, honestly.
They developed the 5th rounders on defense, but
Nate George was a 5th rounder. Actually, I think George was 3rd.
Is George locked up?
Y'all are not gonna
locked up for the next 2 or 3 as well.
You know, when they get knocked out, let me know if you still want
so
Brock
basically,
Purdy
you're saying
to get
these contracts are going to expire right about when Brock's does.
No, everyone's signed. Everyone except for George and Trent are signed through
Pay him.
With the first year or two of the extension.
Dude,
Trent's probably retiring by then.
Let's move on, dude, because this conversation
I
is.
can't stand.
They're gonna get knocked out. They're gonna get knocked out by.
Garoppolo was good.
Come on,
They're gonna get knocked out by Tampa Bay. Let's be realistic. They're gonna get knocked out by Tampa.
For saying that.
It was good for us.
Did you hear that?
What?
Any quarterback is good for you guys.
No, we have had a lot of shit stinkers over the years.
Yeah, but your team, not with this core, not with this.
It was all the same except for
diamond
CMC.
team.
We've had the same unit aside from CMC and some of the offensive linemen for the last 3 years.
Right, you only had 2 quarterbacks in those 3 years.
No, we had
You had guys fill in for Jimmy.
well, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Trey.
but those were your
was
2
the
main
starter.
guys.
Well,
Jimmy
yeah.
was the starter and played probably 80-85% of the games.
I don't know if he hit that many.
Come on,
That man was,
don't do that.
Come
Yeah,
on, dude.
but-
Come on.
yourself.
Please.
All right, talk about the coaches
Oh.
that got fired.
Man.
Talk about
Arthur
the coaches that got
Smith.
fired, Danny.
Arthur
Long
Smith
enough.
is finally out in Atlanta. Ron Rivera out of Washington.
Faster than Nathaniel Hackett did.
Yeah. Mike Vrabel officially out in Tennessee as of this morning. There were some other ones there. Those were the
Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera. And,
no, I said
Washington.
Ron. Yeah. I said that one.
That's it.
I felt like there were more, no? That was it?
A lot of
Those are like
coordinators and stuff have been fired. A lot
For
of
head
teams.
coaches. That's
Yeah, a
it.
lot of teams have moved around coaches.
Oh well,
and
because
assistants and stuff.
I'm just thinking about other openings in general because McDaniels got fired, Staley got fired, but yeah, so those were the main ones there. If we're talking about outlook, and if we throw in Tennessee between these 3 teams,
I know about
obviously I think Atlanta has the best outlook,
Yeah.
100%.
but I wouldn't be surprised if Washington, I would say maybe over a 4 to 5 year stretch, has more success because of the moves that the owner is making already with his hirings for because he did hire
The GM.
he hired a new GM but he also
Adam
hired
Peters. He didn't. No,
It
they,
was-
they haven't hired yet. They're hiring.
What's the
They-
hell's
Well-
his fucking name?
They're interested in Adam Peters, our assistant GM.
Bob Myers. So
Crazy
they
how that
hired
works.
they
They
hired
did do
Bob
that.
Myers. They
That
hired
was
Bob
bad,
Myers and
so-
then somebody else.
Yeah, and they're still doing interviews for the rest of the.
So yeah, but I'm saying like they're
That's
actually
what it was.
taking this owner
Yeah.
is taking the necessary steps to ensure that everything's going to be right from top to bottom instead of the other way around. So I wouldn't be surprised if Washington has a brighter outlook at, let's say, 4 or 5 years down the road based off of what they're doing or what they can accomplish, at least to, get draft picks and stuff like that. But overall, Atlanta has the best outlook between Washington and Tennessee.
I mean, Atlanta's literally a quarterback away from having a really good offense. Like,
100%.
Fucking terrible division.
yeah, and their
Like they
defense
go win
isn't
12
bad.
games.
Yeah, their defense isn't bad. Like
No.
they were a solid defense this year. So if they,
But it's
can
the
get
same
better-
thing. It's the same thing for the
Offensive-minded
Jets.
head coach?
Yeah, well,
It's the same thing for the Jets as well. That the
No,
defense
the
was
Jets,
playing.
They have their quarterback.
Well, no,
Jets
I'm
don't have
saying,
the
but
same
they
weapons
were
at the
having-
level that
and the defense was playing all those snaps because their offense was so bad. But we know how good that defense can be with proper rest and stuff like that, at least in between games and time of possession. But Atlanta needs an offensive-minded quarterback, or at least someone at least competent enough to run an offense
Coach,
and
yeah.
use Bijan, use Kyle Pitts, hopefully, and Drake London. Like when you spend 3 first round
technically.
when you spend 3 first round draft picks in consecutive years on weapons and you don't properly utilize them, then what are you doing?
Did you hear what the GM said?
What?
That he doesn't regret not going after Lamar. That at the time they thought
Stupid.
they had something with Ritter, and that
Stupid.
they were like we were thinking that the Baltimore was just going to match the offer anyway, so we didn't want to go kind of put our eggs in that basket.
True.
Yeah, but like to say you thought you had something with Ritter when everybody and their mamas knew that at best he was a project.
Yep.
And at worst, he's Desmond Ritter.
He's a backup in the league. He's a backup. Let's just call it what it is.
Backup, dude.
I mean, look, anybody's getting a backup job right now. Let's just call it what it is.
Like at the end of the day, bro, the dude can't make a simple
No.
throw to the flat.
100%. I agree. But I'm at the same time, you'd rather have him as a backup than probably like Tim Boyle. Let's just keep it what it is.
Well, he's also going to leak shit to the media and start drama. So that's even worse.
Let's just call it what it is at that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Atlanta has the brighter outlook. I think that's just plain and simple what it is. Tennessee has no direction because they're probably going to lose Derrick Henry. Yeah, they have a solid defense, but nothing to toot your horn about, really, especially again in that division. But you don't have no identity on really what you're looking forward to. So their outlook is bleak, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in football coming up. To be
Who?
honest, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they need an offensive line. That's absolutely true.
They're going to need a
Probably
running
gonna lose
back.
their running back.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Still don't have a receiving core.
Tajay has potential. He's too small though. They're not gonna be able to run him the way they run
DeAndre
Henry,
Hopkins
so
got to get up out of there now.
I think he'll stay. I think
He should have went to the
I think
fucking Chiefs.
I think him and
He
Levis have
should have
good
went to the
chemistry.
fucking Chiefs.
And
He was
gonna
looking for
ride
the
him.
money though. At the end of the day, I think
Yeah.
is really what it was. He was looking for
Oh,
that.
but they're a
He was looking for
receiver
money.
away from being.
I know, but granted, you got to think
Elite.
about it. Maybe Kansas City just wanted to pay him maybe like $6 to $8 million or something like that for the year, whereas he wanted 15 to 18 million from a team that was stupid enough to give it to him.
Shit, I mean, he was by far the number one option in that passing attack, regardless.
Oh,
So
100%, regardless. But either way, at the end of the day, like you were looking for money
She-
is really what it was. So, but Atlanta though has the brighter outlook, is like you said, especially in
I
that
agree.
division.
yeah, they
So-
have to go after someone offensive minded though. If they don't, they're doing themselves a disservice.
They just got to use those weapons.
Justin
They got
Fields.
weapons. They got weapons.
The Bears are going to do a big favor to a quarterback needy team that does not have a high pick this year. And that some team is going to be very happy that they're ending up with
You know he's gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
You know he's gonna go crazy if they give him up.
It'll be so funny too. He's going to stop holding on the ball too long. And people are going to be like, "Oh, maybe our offense was just a problem.
Maybe our scheme is in our offensive
maybe our
line
idiot
and
coaching."
our singular.
You know, that is a
weapon
good-
out wide.
That is a good segue.
Dude, he's gonna fucking go nuts.
It's funny too.
He
'cause
already is great. No, he doesn't throw the ball, but Lamar don't really throw the
Yeah.
ball. Lamar's best season is like 3,400 yards.
with Justin Fields, I've never seen a quarterback where anything good he does doesn't matter, and any little minor bad, even if it works out, is a huge problem. Like I literally saw a thread of tweets breaking down his 39-yard run against Arizona that got him into. I think they scored right after.
Mhm.
They were literally like, he missed this throw here. If he knew how to make his reads, he would have hit this guy. I'm like, so he could have hit whoever that was for 17 yards, or he didn't see the read or didn't like the look, kept the play alive and gained 39, and you're shitting on him for it. Like, I have never
It's
ever
just
seen.
with us Bears fans, we've never our best quarterback in our franchise's history, talent wise, has been Jay Cutler. That's just what it is.
Pull out Joe Montana, all right? Pull out
Yeah.
Joe Montana.
Lucky
What are
you.
chuckling about?
We got
And
Steve Young.
Colin.
Steve Young.
Oh, I guess Steve Young, yeah, he's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Lucky you.
So at least
But-
you got 2 or 3.
And we got BCB.
Yeah, whatever, dude. But all right, so obviously the Bears lost against Green Bay, ending our season at 7-10. Again, it's an improvement though from our previous.
I said 5,
I'll say that.
so
I
they
was
exceeded
right around
mine.
there.
And there was
Yeah.
I
3
think you were
losses
saying
that
8,
they
9,
lost.
Danny.
I said 5,
Somewhere,
6,
yeah.
and they lost 3 games that they were leading in the fourth quarter. So
Correct.
that could have been
Um,
10 wins and a playoff berth.
So obviously Justin Fields missed 4 games this season, finished with about 2,400 yards, about 600 rushing or so. Obviously the last couple of games haven't been, or one we were on a really high note, and then we pretty much stink it up the last couple of games. But does this change our opinions on Justin Fields and the direction of the organization? I think you
doesn't-
got to keep him.
I mean, it didn't change my opinion, but it changes my belief in what's going to happen.
Yeah, they
I
definitely
think
will not keep
with
him.
that's. I think they need. I think for them, it's like if we win this game and he looks good, we'll hold on. If
Even
not, we'll
though
move on.
him looking good is not entirely up to him.
Yeah, that's the thing too. You like
Like
the
they were
Bears
completely
legitimately.
out schemed that entire game.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if either of you actually
I had a chance.
watched
I
that
had a
game.
chance to
didn't-
watch
I didn't-
the
no, I
The
didn't
whole
watch.
game, they were
Parts of the
100%
second
top to
half.
bottom out coached.
Mhm.
100%.
That
Like, it just
Green Bay
again showed
outcoached
the
them.
It
Yeah.
showed the pure difference between the Green Bay organization and the Bears organization, top to bottom, that they developed. Like Jordan Love ain't got nobody to fucking throw to. His best receiver, highest drafted receiver, has only played like 3-4 games in Christian Watson.
Yeah,
He's throwing to nobody.
and that's an FC.
He hasn't had Aaron Jones very often. And I don't think Jordan Love's that great, but he sat behind Rodgers and he's in a world-class organization. And Fields was thrown in to nothing and didn't sit behind any quarterback because we've never really had a quarterback. We sat behind Andy Dalton for 3 games, and it shows you that our organization again
You
can
learn what
develop
not
talent.
to do.
You know what I mean?
Instead of
It
sitting
just
behind
shows
somebody to
the
learn.
massive gap
Yeah.
between Green Bay as an organization and Chicago as an organization.
Yeah.
Like from
Yeah.
top to bottom.
Yeah.
Out coached, outplayed, out hustled, out everything. Everything.
I will say though, so I was watching this other one, so where it was like you have the ability to franchise tag him for at least 2 years, to where instead of paying him and accepting his 5th-year option for around like 25 million, they franchise tag him for the next 2 years for 10 and 15 million respectively. So you get him for 2 years, $25 million, while still holding that
And you
enormous
still have 4
amount,
years, so
enormous
technically
number,
3 years with him.
and you know, having that enormous amount of cap space. But I just think that if you go, I don't know, it's tough. I just think that if you go with a Caleb Williams or
There's no one else. There's no one else.
They're
no, but
mocking
I'm
Drake
saying,
May to the
but
Bears now.
that's what I'm saying, to where, because I think in the latest mock,
That was the
who had
Bleacher
the-
Report mock.
Hey, I'll be honest with you.
who had number one? Was that Arizona?
No. You Bears have had number
We
one
have
for.
number one.
No. But there was a mock to where someone traded with the
Arizona's
Bears.
4.
Oh,
There
I
was
don't
a-
think Arizona's committed to Kyler. They've said publicly.
Yeah,
So,
they want MHJ to fall.
yeah.
And that fuck off.
Oh, so it was
MHJ and
saying
Trey McBride?
it was saying Washington would trade up to number one for the Bears, and that they would draft Caleb Williams, and then
He would be great.
the Bears would be number 2, and then the Bears would draft Drake May. If a situation like that happened, that would be the worst possible thing that could happen.
I will
think if the
never be a
Bears-
Bears fan again. I will be a Bills fan till the day I die.
If the
Till the day
Bears
Josh Allen.
want to take a quarterback, they need to keep the first pick and draft Caleb.
Yes.
Because
Correct.
if you're
That's the
saying
only way.
Fields isn't good enough, I want something else, you got to go with the guy who's been touted as a
I
number one
haven't-
overall pick for the last 2
I
to 3
haven't
years.
seen anything from the Bears in the last, 15, 20 years of me watching football to show me that they can develop any type of quarterback.
Yeah.
So if you're not picking the guy that's quote unquote generational and has been, like you said,
Then you gotta keep him.
since he came at the end of his freshman year at Oklahoma
Yep.
as like
Then you
the
gotta keep him.
consensus number 1 pick, then you keep Justin Fields.
Yeah.
You gotta keep
He's
him.
already shown he's a leader on that team. The guys are behind him.
Well, that's
See,
another
the
thing.
number 1 option, DJ Moore,
Yeah.
has
Mhm.
said that's my guy. I want him at quarterback. I mean, DJ Moore was half of Justin Fields' passing yards this year.
No,
and,
I don't think-
and everything's
yeah.
been career highs this year for DJ Moore,
Yeah.
with Justin Fields as the main quarterback.
Yeah,
Like-
and then if you look in the 3 games that Fields didn't play, his numbers went down. So clearly, like if you give Justin playmakers, he can make things happen.
Can we just get Marvin? Can we just get MHJ?
I'm
Please.
also under the opinion
Can we
that
just get MHJ?
I am personally under the opinion that Caleb's
He doesn't want to go there, bro.
okay. I'm just under the opinion that Caleb's not that guy. At least not
Bro,
at this
I'm
point.
Not in a
Like,
Bears
like,
uniform.
I'm
Not in
at
a Bears
this point.
uniform.
I think he needs to go to somewhere that can kind of cultivate that talent that he
No,
has,
bro, he
because he's
is-
got a lot of flaws.
But I think he's highly talented.
Oh, super.
Oh,
But I also
yes.
think without proper weapons,
Yeah.
like we saw this year at USC,
Yeah.
losing 2 guys that were drafted in the first and third round, I think it was.
Mhm.
And then the coaching scheme's not incredible. Defense is one of the worst in college football. And again, he just didn't have any help, any help. And you see what obviously his numbers dip tremendously.
Yeah.
from
I just
him.
think he's not, when you're looking at like number 1 prospects as quarterbacks, you've typically got one of 2 guys, right? The guy who's ready for the NFL,
Yep.
or a guy who's got all the tools and needs somebody to put it together or help him put it together. To me, Caleb's more of the second than he is the first, right? He's got all the tools. He's shown us a lot over the years, but he's also shown us, again, a lot of flaws. And the team wasn't good, right? And that highlighted some of the things. But he was having a lot of the same issues Justin was having, holding on to the ball too long, taking sacks they didn't need to take, right?
Again,
So-
though, but that's because guys can't get open.
Yeah, that's the same thing in Chicago.
I know.
You getting, aside from DJ Moore, all you got to do is just hedge a safety over as his cut, right? Make sure you break off any sort of break the route can have. Now you got to worry about Darnell Mooney and who the hell else. I know Felix Jones, I think, got cut at some point.
I haven't been worried about Darnell Mooney since his rookie year.
You might be worried about him as a Bears fan, not as a
Yeah, I'm
rival.
worried about him being a Bear.
Y'all had that one. Velas was terrible. Y'all had that other receiver who was only
Everybody's been terrible. Everybody's been awful.
Komet is the only other guy.
And
over the middle of the field.
Yeah, and it's not like his ability. He's not got.
And he's also night and day. Some games. Some games he's there. Other games he's not.
Yeah, well, his route tree is not great. He can't run like every route in the book and get open like that. So, yeah, if I'm the Bears, I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, we just roll it with Justin for another year. What's the worst that can happen, right? Like,
because you know what, I'd rather him fail with everything right around him than him fail with nothing right around at the end.
Yeah,
I'd rather give him Marvin Harrison Jr.
like 11 to 12 games if they grab Fields and a competent coach.
Yes,
I mean it's only up from Arthur Smith. They're not going down.
Well,
it's only up.
Don't challenge him.
It's only up from there.
Don't challenge him.
It's only up from there.
They'll hire Matt Patricia.
I think they do better.
Matt Patricia would do Josh better. McDaniels as their OC and DC.
They would do better.
Don't even get me started. All right, man. Well, yeah, we know the direction that at least we have our opinions on the direction.
I'm with Vitor though. I actually do agree that I think that them not winning that game in Green Bay has kind of semi-forced their hand into making a trade and giving Fields to somebody, and I think they draft Caleb. It's fine. It resets the quarterback contract thing, but it also resets the 3 years that you've had of developing relationships with some of the guys, developing. I mean, you never gave Justin a fair chance with consistency at coaching, consistency anywhere on the field.
Oh, and it's the same thing. You're going to bring in Caleb. Are you going to flip up the coaching? Or are you going to keep these coaches?
Eberflus hasn't proven anything in 2 years. So if they do bad again next year with Caleb, then he's out, and Caleb's again on a second coach.
Yeah, are they going to bring in real weapons for him? Or are they going to continue to kind of?
Well, the plan is if you draft Caleb, then you go draft one of the receivers that fall at 9. So they draft Caleb at 1.
Like Rome, Dunza.
He's projected to be at 9 right now.
Yeah, but either be the plan. I just think it would be a real bad mistake if we don't somehow get Marvin Harrison.
No, just yesterday.
Drafting a quarterback?
No, I'm talking about yesterday.
Oh,
well, I finished 3 yards away on one of the lays. So
we'll see.
All right, slide to the NBA because this Bears talk pisses me off.
Yeah,
it pisses me off, and I'm not even a Bears fan.
Go Bills!
I think that's the craziest thing. I'm not even a Bears fan, and I get annoyed with this debate. I'm like, he's literally showing you. Your guys are saying that a guy who's never shown you nothing, doesn't prove anything, is a better option than a guy who, he's got flaws, but he's also showing you a lot of ups.
Welcome to Chicago.
There's one other guy in the league that can do what he does.
Yeah, he's about to win his second MVP.
I mean, I think Josh Allen as well.
Welcome to the fan base of Chicago. I like talking about the NBA now. So we got a lot of, I guess we can say, competitive, or at least teams that we thought should be contending based off of their off seasons and the people that they brought back. Main teams we're going to be talking about: Golden State Warriors, Lakers, and Bucks to start it off. There are more teams as well who have been struggling. So far. That's a better word for it. More so disappointing. But the main ones we're going to be talking about: the Bucks. Even though the Bucks are 25-12, but it does not feel like that they are a 25-12 team.
5-5 in their last 10.
Yeah,
they've lost 5 in a row.
And then the
2 in a row.
2 in a row.
1, 2.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, so he lost 3. It was 5 of 6, not 5 in a row. That's what it was.
But then the Los Angeles Lakers are at 18-19, and a lot has been said about the coaching decisions of Darvin Ham. And then Golden State, obviously with injuries and all that as well, have just been completely up and down so far in the season, never really gaining any traction or anything like that so far. But out of those 3 teams, and then we'll name those ones, and then we'll get into some other ones as well that you guys may have. But out of those 3 teams, who are you guys more concerned about?
He's got his answer.
I mean, I'm concerned about all these teams, but to me, the Lakers,
in terms of moves.
Yeah, because like when you look at the Warriors, they still have a lot of tradable contracts, right? Clay is a salary dump. He's in his last year. He's a $40 million contract. I think he's 43 or 48, right? You can turn that into either a star player that's disgruntled and needs to leave his team, or you can turn that into multiple, pieces. Mm-hmm. You can move Wiggins and his contract. You can move Dre and his contract. Those are the Lakers are fucked contract wise. They got LeBron and AD, who are taking up most of their cap. Then they have a D'Lo, who's been terrible.
D'Lo and
Rui, who hasn't been good. Reeves has been solid, but they refused to trade him. So now
it's solid, but like you paid him to have.
Well, yeah, you didn't pay him to
You
average
paid him-
15,
you-
4, and
yeah.
3. You
paid him to
have-
average
be a
20.
third option. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but they refused to part with him because he's their only other guy besides LeBron and AD who can do anything. So they've committed all this money to guys that nobody wants. Like I keep seeing, I've been having a lot of fun scrolling through Reddit. It's called r/NBA trade ideas. I say fun. I use that word loosely because I've seen so much bullshit in there too. But just like seeing people throw mock trades together, and then you read what fans have to say and what their fan base thinks about players, and the collective shitting on Lakers fans for thinking that their players are worth something they're not, or like that people actively want Rui Hachimura.
No,
No.
I think people have actively forgotten about.
The only player that the Lakers have that is worth anything to another team is Austin Reeves, besides their stars, besides the 2 stars.
Yep.
And if they're refusing to part with him, they've got nothing. They've got nothing to trade. You're gonna have to find somebody who's willing to just dump salary for him and take on those terrible, 3 years of. I think it's both of them. No, I know D'Lo's on a 3. I think Rui's on a 2.
Rui's on a
2.
I think it's
on a
2.
2.
Is he?
Reeves, I think, signed to 3 or 4.
Yeah, and I know D'Lo's on 3. It's like no one wants these guys.
3.
And
Rui's
they
on
only
3.
have Is he 3?
Yeah, 3 years. 3 years, 51 million. 3 years, 51 million. They ain't no stretching. It's 3 years, 51
on average.
He's getting 15. He's getting 15.7 million this year, 17 next year, and then 18.2 in the final year. Yes. So they backloaded it.
Yeah, unless you're a team like
for
Portland,
one good playoff game.
Unless if you, dude, I saw somebody
one good game against the Grizzlies.
I saw somebody saying you can't trade Rui. He's a playoff riser. I'm like, oh god. I'm like, yeah, let's see him rise this year.
We can say though that the Lakers offseason was successful for everybody that they brought back because it was continuity, but you knew this was not going to be like a championship contending
that word is
team.
A red flag. I don't want to hear that word. That word is a red flag.
It's this team, I agree with you. The Lakers right now, we can say this every single year since the Lakers won the championship, they're fucked. We can say that.
I saw this comment and I wholeheartedly agree with it. Them winning that championship was the worst thing they could have done because then they committed to aging Bron, who obviously Solomon Hill had a big role in things as well. But LeBron's health has not been
Solomon Hill
in the past. Yeah, the guy who dove into his ankle a couple of years ago.
Oh,
then ever since then he's been having a lot of issues in that leg, knee, ankle, foot.
I do not recall Solomon Hill being a Laker ever.
No, he dove into LeBron's foot.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hurt his ankle. Ever since then, right, you've gotten a LeBron that is chronically questionable, missing games left and right for his standards, right? Left and right, not those standards.
39.
Yeah. But he never exhibited any signs of slowing down until that ankle.
But he's 39.
But yeah, and also again, they committed to building around a guy who was gonna be pushing his late 30s, and then they put next to him a guy who's shown that he's not that guy, and he's made of glass. Right, AD when he's playing locked in is best player in the league.
Yeah, he's been on a tear though.
But
they've been losing, but he's been on a tear.
And it's just like what it's just.
But that's not good enough.
It's such a
that's not good enough.
Say he's averaging 30 and 12 in his last 10 games.
It's such it's such a poorly built team. They have when I watch Lakers games, their defense is a joke. The offense is basically LeBron help us. And when he's not in, it's can somebody please get LeBron in the game to help?
The thing is that they have players who can play offense or players that can play defense. They do not have players that can do both. Besides, obviously, AD, LeBron, and Austin Reeves to an extent.
Reeves isn't even a defender.
But he can get by at least a little bit. But Cam Reddish hasn't been
team defender, but one-on-one that man.
No, it's horrible. Cam Reddish. Been horrible. Rui been horrible. Jackson Hayes. Everybody got excited about Jackson Hayes being a backup center to AD.
Decent.
Stop it.
I'm saying he hasn't proved anything though. But I'm saying
people always get excited when like a pick and roll big, one of these hotly springy guys play with a guy like LeBron, right? They get super excited that he might have a guy who actually can find him. But he's got no talent outside of blocking shots and dunking the ball.
And the thing, and they try and get these rookies. The rookie that they drafted over Jaime Baquez,
you're talking about Shafino?
Yeah, horrible. They made a draft mistake there, but again, they probably weren't going to play Jaime at all. Gabe Vincent, of course, you steal a role player.
Upgrade on Rui too, which is crazy.
Did you see the report that came out yesterday?
What for?
There's an article that came out, and several NBA figures, execs, and whatever have said that you cannot sign Miami Heat role players.
Yes,
because if Miami's letting them go, it's for a reason. And I mean, we've seen it with Kendrick Nunn.
And they did. I saw that too. They did a side-by-side comparison of the career so far with Kendrick Nunn and Gabe Vincent, that they have undrafted, signed by the Heat, career years with the Heat, get signed to a contract extension, and they're nowhere to be found after 2 years.
Yeah.
Has Gabe been hurt?
Gabe's been hurt.
Yeah.
Which has also never been a part of his game.
He had a knee surgery.
Dude never got hurt. He was literally
was a dog.
Mr. Consistent for them.
He was a dog in the playoffs.
Because they had a lot of injuries, but he was always there. Cody was always there. Actually, it's a Cody or Caleb? Caleb.
Caleb Martin.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Cody's
he's been in and out, but he's been injured as well a little bit here and there.
Yeah, they've had a lot of injuries. They're doing very well to get where they're at.
They did the same shit last year.
Yeah, Jimmy's been missing a ton of games.
The first 2/3 of the season.
Jimmy's already 6 games away from not being able to win any awards, make any All-NBA or anything.
And he got his money. He don't care.
That's what he said. He's like, I'm not trying. I don't care for rewards. The only reward I want is a banner.
Yeah.
So
he don't care. But
I mean, let's just touch on those other teams since we spend so much time going down the Lakers being shambles.
And Warriors, for me, it's for me, it's the Bucks. That's the team. That's the team I'm worried about. Yes, really? That's the team I'm most concerned about.
That was actually not the original question. I threw the Bucks in there because of the whole coach thing.
Yeah,
the whole Giannis and the coach thing, and them losing the last couple games on some sorry ass shit.
I'm concerned about them because they're 25-12. They're getting by, but at the end of the day, too, if your defense is not going to at least improve a little bit to where when you're getting closer to the playoffs, again, we still got 50 or so games left. It's a lot more room for them to still grow with what they have, and I'm sure they're going to make a couple of signings off the waiver wire, whatever, or the buyout market, whatever the case may be. But the fact already that you already have players calling out your coach for being able to not really do what he was brought in to do, and at least be able to have this team flourish, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And at least they're competent on the offensive side, but defense, they're horrible, and he's a defensive-minded coach. Giannis is already questioning him. Bobby Portis is already questioning him. Dame looks like he has taken a step back, but again, he is still getting comfortable in the new environment. They're 25-12, which is, great, but it's not convincing me whatsoever.
Well, and
there's just something about this team that I'm scared about. There's just something with this team that I am not liking. Again, his defense is obvious, but there's just something that is not connecting this team like it has been in prior years, and it makes the firing of Budenholzer look very suspect at this point.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think
Drew Holiday.
Yeah, I mean the defense. We said it right away when the trade happened. Right, we're like, their defense is going to suffer, and it has very much. But I think what we're really surprised by is the fact that the offense isn't dominant. Like, they're constantly they're not they have a lot of high scoring games, but they're giving it right back. Like, I'm not seeing an offense that looks what I expected from a Giannis and Dame. Right, we always talk about Giannis pairing with any elite shooter. Right, especially
and that was his choice as well. That was his choice of who he wanted to pair with was Giannis. That was his top choice.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense from at least on paper, but I'm not seeing it translate, right? And I know Dame's been struggling with his shot lately, and that's a huge part of it, because then Giannis has to do that same thing where he gets it at the top of the key, does a 2-dribble hesitation drive, steps it back 5 steps out behind the key so he can lower his head and drive at the basket.
Bond's favorite play.
All they can do now, because they don't have anybody else who can create.
I hate clicking into a Bucks game after I bet on Dame to get for 25-4, and I just see Giannis with 35.
No, the worst part is you'll bet Dame for 25-4, and it's the end of the first quarter. He's 0 for 3 with 1 for 2 free throw. He's got 7 assists. You're like, motherfucker,
dude, he always got 7 assists. Like, shoot the fucking ball.
And then he
bro.
does.
It's a shot if you don't shoot the ball.
It's just not convincing. Like Giannis, like I feel like last year and at least the last couple of years with Giannis and when he's been dominant,
6 last year.
you can tell that Giannis has been dominant and is controlling the game. That's the thing.
Threes to get it to plus 102.
That's the thing that I look at is that with Giannis's performance, they were more convincing and they felt like they were more dominant. When Giannis has dominant performances this year, point-wise, and when you look at the stat sheet, then you watch the game and you're like, it did not feel that way.
It's like Giannis had 47, 12, and 8 in a 1-point win against the Spurs, and you're like, wait, huh?
Yeah.
3-point win, Mr. Squidward.
Yeah. Well, they also lost the other one, so
yes.
No, and then what's funny to me is Middleton was asked to start the season. He has picked up in the last 5-10 games, and somehow they're doing worse. Yeah. Like it's like they can't figure out how to use their guys, and they're not even that. It's not even that crowded of a kitchen because you only have 3 guys that really command.
But if you think about it too, Middleton we can really say was like the more versatile closer between the two.
He was the closer.
That's what I'm saying. Like he was the Batman, or I mean, in this case, the Superman to at least be option 1 to close out the game and at least be able to provide something different than just a drive through somebody's chest. But I think it's more so of him trying to figure out that role is what's more crucial to me, because if he's not going to be giving you 20-25 like he was in previous years when he was healthy, he has to be able to do something else. But again, with those 3, there's just no clear defined role of what they're actually supposed to be doing. We know Dame's supposed to score. Giannis is supposed to be dominant. Chris Middleton's just supposed to be there like a Tobias Harris type player now, but that's not where he's really effective at. So
I mean, I think he can do it. I think he can get you
12,
15 in that spot, but not if Dame's only getting you 15.
Well, here's the
But that's the thing too, looking at like a Tobias Harris situation. Look at like Tobias Harris when James Harden was there was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Nowhere. Like he was not effective at all. And it's showing the same thing with Middleton, even though his numbers have picked up a bit. But again, they're giving up so many points, but they're also scoring so many points. You can say that's really inflated at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, and then I think there's definitely been a big regression as far as the defense goes, like individually.
Huge.
Like Giannis, to me,
Brooke has been their best defensive player.
He's getting blocks here and there, but I'm not seeing like the impact that Giannis had, a few years ago. And even with Brooke, right, he's still their best defender. He's still getting his blocks. But I also feel like there's still like teams don't look scared to drive against Milwaukee. And I feel like previously they were, right? It felt like teams were not looking to get into the paint against Milwaukee because they knew it was coming for them. Now they're cakewalking into there and they're not worried about those 2 shot blockers. So
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
But again, they're 25-12. So
it's hard to argue.
If this is their struggle, then they're chilling.
I mean, my answer was probably the Lakers, but I don't know. We can talk about the Warriors, I guess. What did I propose? Was it the Siakam trade for the Warriors?
The Siakam trade makes a lot of sense.
That for me, since you touched on the Bucks, you touched on the Lakers. I think the Warriors, with the pieces they have, need to make a trade to try for a star that kind of can like go hand in hand with the rest of Steph's career. Yeah, somebody that can kind of play a 2-man game with him, kind of deal.
Because like an officially second bona fide star.
Yes, Clay, like what we thought we were getting with Wiggins. You know what I'm saying? What they thought they were getting with Wiggins. They got with Wiggins for a chip run, but has proven to not be a thing.
Well, and that's the thing. They've got damn near 70, 80 mil committed to between Clay and Wiggs. Like, yeesh.
I saw some. They don't want to give up the young guys.
Yeah. Well, I saw something there that, people talk about these 2 timeline thing and they're trying to, be competitive while also building to the future. But
it's so hard.
What's the guarantee that all these guys that they're trying to, build up and keep for post Steph, that one, they're going to really develop to be quality starting players. 2, that they're going to be able to play together.
Yeah.
Right. They haven't shown any of that. So your best chance of getting a ring in the next 10 to 15 years is now while you've still got Steph.
Kuminga, Wiggins, or Kuminga and
Clay. If we're being honest too, and I think I even called it during the championship run or when they won the championship, was that you were going to get the best out of Wiggins for those 2 years because during that 1 year that they were a bad team, that was when he was just traded. And then 2, everybody came back healthy. And that was when everything was going to start to roll. But to me, it was a big, big regret for them to give that much money right out. I mean, and I get it. When you win a championship, you want to lock up the guys. You want to retain the core as much as you possibly can. But for a player like Wiggins, you knew that there was going to be some sort of step back. I felt like he was never going to keep going on a right trajectory upward. I felt like he was just going to hit there. And then all of a sudden, once he got paid, going to nosedive or at least just be the same player that he's always been. And again, hasn't been effective or anything like that. Came to the season out of shape. And you gave him all of this money. Same thing with Jordan Poole. Now you had to bite the bullet with Jordan Poole and try and get something back. And he's the worst player in the league, right? Granted, I feel bad for his situation. Yes,
3 of 5 Wizards with the worst plus minus in the league.
But still, like that was the type of player that you are going to get with
we
Andrew
at least
Wiggins.
thought Jordan Poole was going to like get his while Washington lost games.
Like 20.
Bro, he got dropped on fantasy. I was like, ooh, I went to check his recent games. I'm like, he's got 1 game over 15 points over the last 6. I'm like,
but that's what happens too. Also, when you're keyed in, you can't key in on Steph, Clay, and everybody else. You keying in on him, but. I'm just worried. I'm worried about more so their future than anything. This season, I'm not really worried about because I don't think they're going to get somebody like a Pascal Siakam. I just don't think that's going to be realistic unless you give up a Jonathan Kuminga, which again, now all of a sudden that they don't want to do now because now, they realize how good he is. Like,
yeah, reports are that they're hesitant to include Kuminga in any trade.
How good he is.
But I'm
Pascal,
like,
though.
Well, and that's the thing, right? I'm looking at it, right? Pascal makes a ton of sense. Playing with Steph,
is there, dude.
He doesn't make a lot of sense playing with Draymond. And that's where I think it gets a little.
Bring Draymond in the trade,
Well, that's what. But then you don't because like, are you gonna go Gray? And
don't nobody want Draymond.
I don't think anybody like. And the fact that what does I mean is he in the how many years has he got?
Ooh.
That's a big role, Dre.
1 more.
Because that's the biggest part.
He actually people are probably deterred.
So he has a player option for the 26-27 season. So he just signed it 2 years ago.
Yeah, so they're gonna be like you got to convince a team to take on Draymond Green for a year. Yeah, because like otherwise, like Siakam makes a lot of sense playing.
But he's holding teams hostage now as well because he's not committing to signing with anybody.
Yeah, well,
that's why the Kings dropped out of the sweepstakes for him because they're like, well,
assume that any team that does trade for him is getting the guarantee that he's re-signing, or they're going to get the rental price. Right? Mm-hmm. There's not going to go.
Yeah, you're not
max value and
players and picks.
And if you're Toronto, if he's saying, "Hey, I want to test free agency. I'd love to stay, but I'm going to go test free agency," and you can get something for him, and maybe even still re-sign him in the offseason, fucking do it.
Dude, why would he sign there?
Sign where?
Toronto.
In Toronto, bro.
No,
he's already said. There's also the fact. Part of the reason he's saying he won't
extend him a fucking bag.
Well, yeah, there's part of the reason he won't extend anywhere, but Toronto is because Toronto can give him more money.
Yes,
than any other team could. So he would have to. He wants to wait until free agency to get that bigger free agent contract.
Yeah.
What's another?
To see, though.
There's been reports that Tyrese wants to play with Clay.
Who? Halliburton?
Yeah.
Oh, you scared me. I was like, Maxey?
No, Hallie would want to play with Clay.
I was like, they're pretty good, man.
Like that, I don't really know how they could make it work. It would be Buddy Hield and some other stuff, but
Buddy Hield.
But
I think it would make sense because of how much I feel like their offense is pretty much with Hallie at the helm is pretty similar to a Warrior style offense because of how much they move, but also just how much he looks to distribute now instead of score. I feel like last year he was more so looking to score than distribute. This year I feel like he's full on doing that. I just don't think I just don't think Clay moves the needle for them.
I don't think Clay moves the needle for anybody.
I just don't think so.
He's been playing.
No.
He's going to be really good when somebody gets him on a good contract after this year, though.
Milwaukee.
He's going to be motivated. Clay to Boston or Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Philly?
Oof. That one I would actually be interested about.
They could use a shooter, create some space.
But they'd have to give up Tobias to match the money.
Tobias would be coming off books as well.
Yeah,
They're both on. They're both.
But are you talking about to sign? But I'm saying, are you talking about to sign him or to swap?
Either way. Like the fact is, right? He's going to be a free agent, and if he's not signing and re-signing in Golden State, which he reportedly turned down a 2-year, $48 million contract, 24 a year there. So he turned that down. Now he's playing terribly, so his value's terrible. If he wants big money, he's probably going to have to go elsewhere. So and big money isn't going to be that big. So. Yeah, but the reason I'm not too worried is because they have routes that they can take to make the team better, whichever direction they decide to go. If they want to compete,
like disgruntled star or bad team on
Zach and DeMar.
Zach would make sense.
Zach would make sense.
Zach would make DeMar don't make sense. It slows their pace down.
Yeah. Everybody's saying that the Knicks want him and all that, and that'll complete everything for them.
Wait,
no,
New York and DeMar.
New York Knicks, yeah.
Yeah, shit. I mean, they already play slow.
That'd be horrible.
I mean, yeah, but they play slow enough.
That'd be horrible.
I wouldn't want to watch Brunson and DeMar on the same team.
And Jew.
The only guy worth watching is OG standing his ass in the corner.
Looking all muscular and
just
shit.
waiting. We're like, please, Brunson, today, can you please pass?
That would be horrible.
And then, like, meanwhile, Jew and Brunson are taking 50-something combined shots.
Like Kaminga for Zach, straight up.
We need like something to make the money work, like Clay.
Maybe Clay too.
Why?
Just because, might as well.
1-year rental and then re-sign him on the low.
Might as well. Yeah. All right. Last thing we got for the episode.
Something else.
Me?
I forget what it was.
The trade.
Yes, that's what it was.
Second to last thing then. So we'll go.
Oh, the leading scorer for the Knicks today.
We'll talk about the trade first, and then we'll get into our last thing of two guys that we think should be getting more recognition for MVP, and we're going to talk a little bit about voter fatigue. But the OG Anunoby trade, obviously, it's been in full effect now. Knicks have, I believe, they've only lost one game with OG so far. They gave up RJ Barrett.
They're winning again today.
A second, they won. They won by like 30 today. They gave up RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and a second round pick, or multiple seconds, one of the two. But again, I think great value for a guy like OG and what they're really looking for. And again, a Tom Thibodeau type player. I think there's no other perfect fit for that. He fits everything that they're looking to do, and he can play 40 minutes a game.
They're actually 5-0 since the trade.
5-0?
Like, yeah.
I mean, and it was a very interesting point that I saw too, is that this team, the Knicks are building around Tom Thibodeau. They're not building around a specific player, in my opinion. They're building a Tom Thibodeau type of team. Yeah. And what fits him best, because this is the best opportunity he has right now. They're not going to go for a star. Maybe they, again, go for a Donovan Mitchell, but I don't think, again, he leads them
so anywhere. I don't know if you saw that there was also a report that they're just kind of waiting. If they find an opportunity to add somebody at a good cost during the season, they'll do it. You can't really add like a 2-guard. Jalen demands so much of the ball. Well, that's the thing, is they'd need something like an off-ball kind of 2 that can well, I don't know. Zach to just do the same thing he's doing in Chicago. Yeah, but exactly. I don't know. They've built this team up where the 2 is the only position they need. Yeah, that would fit. Clay would be fit wise, that'd be huge. And that, because we've already seen what adding OG's spacing did for Randall and Brunson. So I mean, realistically, any knockdown shooter, I think at that 2 spot would be huge for them. But who do they have that they could give up? Well, I mean, not everyone has to be traded. Buddy Hield's also supposedly, he wanted more money than he'd be a good fit. Indiana was willing to give him, so he's going to probably walk in the off season.
Well, they're still going to try and trade him, but
then Clay's going to be a free agent. Like, they're going to have options. So, but like the word is that they're kind of waiting on the next disgruntled star to request a trade. And then somebody did a breakdown of players based on agencies, right? Because the Knicks are basically a CAA team. So they were like basically, and Clutch has like hella beef with them. So there's like a lot of things saying that like any Clutch athlete probably doesn't go to the Knicks. And they were like breaking it down, and like there was like 4 candidates of who could realistically go to the Knicks that they would fit that description. It's like KD,
Paul George, Devin Booker,
Paul George, and Embiid. Those are like the 4 guys they are like bona fide stars that could request a
KD
trade and might
PG
make
are the
sense.
ultimate
Yeah.
ball, don't need the ball, but can take the ball. But
If you're
Can play a 1,
if you're
2,
the
or 3.
Knicks, what do you try to bring KD in while keeping Randall, or do you sacrifice Randall to bring KD? Because I'm looking at the fit, right? And OG definitely, obviously, you want OG to be your number one defender, right? He's going to provide that spacing. But if you run
probably have to be
lineup,
able to give up less if you gave it included.
and that's the thing. If I'm looking at the lineup, right, and who would you run Randall at the 5? Because we've seen that Randall's very much a 4.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
And then so that means you're playing KD at the 3 mostly. Is that
Hartenstein's been solid.
yeah?
at the 5
Is
too.
OG playing the 2? Like what? You know what I mean? So the team, if they're not going for a guard, a shooting guard, they're gonna have to reshuffle a little bit, and that's gonna be interesting unless they go center. But even then, it seems like they
got Mitchell
Riddler.
Robinson.
Yeah, Mitchell
but he's been
and
hurt.
Hartenstein. Both of them
Yeah.
have been great this year.
Yeah.
The Raptors, on the other hand, their offense has gone up 9.6 points per 100 possessions since the trade. Their defense has gone down to 21st in the league in that stretch.
Weird.
But I mean, I think the move was always to, hey, let's get players that fit around Scotty Barnes better, that fit our timeline better.
And RJ Barrett's playing at an all-star level the last 5 games pretty much for them. Had 37 the other night for him.
Well,
Hey, come on.
He did have 37, but I'd say all-star levels a stretch.
I mean,
first
doing a
20-point
consistent,
game.
but still, like, at least providing for them what they need, and he's
They need
blossoming over
offense.
there.
So it's huge, and quickly, I think the fit for quickly, right? Being that kind of, he's small, but he is a good defender, and he gives them, I think I told you this. The way those two players complement Scotty,
Yeah,
is huge. So I think it was one of those rare win-win trades. I do think the Knicks got the better side of the deal, especially when you're talking about OG they're asking for 3 firsts last year, and then they get off with no firsts this year, just RJ, IQ, and a second.
Technically, that's 2 firsts.
Well, yeah, but if you want to look at players who didn't pan out as first-round picks,
yeah.
well, saying didn't pan out is a stretch, but I mean, RJ went 3rd?
Yes.
Yeah.
And definitely has not lived up to 3rd overall. I'm interested to see though, because I don't think either team's actually done making moves. Obviously, Pascal's the big one for Toronto. See what the Knicks decide to do. I think they're going to be a little bit.
There's going to be a crazy
reserved.
Whoever gets him.
What, Pascal? Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to end up being one of those boring ass like rental trades where it's just like matching salary in a second. Yeah, just to like send them out, and then a team's going to try to make a run in those few games and hope for the best. But I'm just interested to see how Toronto kind of approaches it, because
here we are again a year later, and we're still talking about
Toronto blowing it up.
The Raptors.
Yeah,
all their trade pieces.
Let's see here, and then last thing.
That was it, yeah, for that one.
Last thing that we got, and Christian posed this one for us here. So should guys
we both did.
So should guys like SGA, again, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, for those who live under a rock, or Luka, Luka, be getting more recognition for MVP, as voter fatigue for guys who haven't even won? Are you saying, is there a voter fatigue for guys who haven't even won? Okay.
I'm saying there is.
Gotcha.
There is.
Bro, they put Luka 5th on the MVP ladder. That's
I mean, I'm not mad at it because of how well Joel is playing.
Oh, come on. Okay, Joel can get that first one. That's whatever.
No, I know. But yeah, everything though, like with what Luka is doing and with what SGA is doing, with still one of the youngest rosters in the league, and he should be, but again, they're not going to do that.
I'm annoyed with Joel. He should have 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Personally. And then this would be year 3 of him just dominating the regular season. Like, come on, dude. I'm tired of it. He can score 40 against everyone. We get it.
I'm getting tired of Jokic, bro. How is
shit too.
How is he second?
That shit too.
He's having a way down year compared to his typical numbers. His last 3-year numbers, because compared to this year, He is nowhere near that guy, and I don't know why he's even on the ladder.
He is that guy. Like he is.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, he is that guy.
But the numbers, yes,
Yeah.
in comparison.
You're telling me this guy's having a worse year than last year, and he's number 2 on the All-Star ladder when Luka's averaging 33, 8 and 9. Shay's averaging 32, like 6 and 6 with 3 steals a game. Like, come on. Like
the 3 steals is wild.
It's like 2.7 or something.
I saw somebody
like,
on Twitter lost a bet where they had like, I think it was Dunk to go for 5 threes and Shea to go for 5 or 6 steals, and he was 1 steal short. I was like, why'd you have to go for 5 or 6?
Bro, I wanted to trade for him, and I look at the games and I'm like, I can't. Like, it would cost me everything. He's at 2.4 steals a game.
But like the point is, it's comical that these guys, like, normally we do see the thing where we get voter fatigue.
Yeah.
You saw it with Kobe, you saw it with LeBron, you know what I'm saying? Even MJ in some of those other years. But like especially my main thing was with Luka, the voter fatigue with Luka, because everyone always talks about him being the next thing. I think he's already there, like he is.
Been there.
But he's never gets the looks that Joker and Joel get, when realistically, in terms of most valuable, he's probably the second. In terms of most valuable, I mean, we've seen the Sixers already win games without Joel. I think that the Nuggets can win games and have won games without.
I think Luka is most valuable.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably right. He's neck and neck with those other two, but I think I would agree. I would argue with you that he is.
No,
most valuable.
and
because if you look at it, that those other teams have, I think,
Jamal
more
Murray,
established,
Porter, and Aaron
more
Gordon,
established talent.
ACP, and they have Tyrese, Tobias.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got more established pieces. Whereas if you took Luka off of this team, I mean, and we're forgetting about Kyrie too. Kyrie just came back from injury as well.
Yeah,
so
he missed like 3 weeks.
Luka has missed
but
4 games this season, I believe, and they're 0-4. If I'm not mistaken. So might be 1-3 if I am mistaken. But
I mean, it's more of a small sample size anyway. But still, like, this team would be dramatically different without
small sample size.
Yeah, but I mean, he should be either way. Those two, and I think it's more so where I don't know. I just don't know if it's based on if it's just name market combination, or it's like they've been kind of battling this MVP conversation and dominating it for the last 3-4 years at this point. Other guys need to get more love for what they're doing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like Luka, I mean, the thing, and like you said it as well. So where it's like
criminal, he doesn't have an MVP. Personally.
Yeah.
That's because he's never even like improved, quote unquote. Right.
He just came in like that. He just came in being that dude, and I think that's where it is. I think that's what it is.
People like seeing jumps.
I think if you asked the casual, motherfuckers would probably say he had one.
Yeah,
probably.
They'd be like, like how many MVPs does Luka Doncic have? Oh man, he's so good. It has to be at least 1 or 2.
I guarantee you ask the casual, they'd be like, yeah, he got one.
Stupid, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna reward the guy that stat pads and stays in games that they're getting blown out just to keep his 30-10 streak alive.
Bro, fucking
that was embarrassing.
Sorry.
That was so embarrassing.
That was I was aggravated with that.
Bro, the fact that he played like 6 minutes.
40. They were up 40 points. And he's still in the game just to shoot fucking free throws.
Just to
get an extra assist.
Get to keep the 30-10 streak alive.
Oh god, that was so stupid.
And he was playing injured, so he basically went from kind of sore to having to miss multiple games.
We gave in because we had a back-to-back. We played the night after that. We gave in as soon as.
So but the game I'm referring to was, I believe,
it was last
Friday.
Yes, Friday night.
Was that the?
And we played Saturday.
Yeah, against the Knicks. They were down. They lost by 36. Was the final number.
And they did this game too.
Joel.
He did it in this game too.
Yeah.
But like the reverse.
Yeah, stayed in to
get a 30, 10, and 10.
Yeah. Yeah, and now he's missing. He's already been ruled out for tomorrow's game against the Hawks. Like, come on. Like, I get keeping your streak, and same way when LeBron hurt his ankle, right? He literally stayed in the game because he was at 8 points and 7 points, and he stayed in the game, hit a 3, and then checked out and left. As soon as he hit his 10-point streak, his double-digit scoring streak.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. but LeBron's scoring streak is one thing. The man's been in double digits for like 400 games. No one cares about Joel's 30-10 streak. No one cares about Joel's 30-10 streak except Joel. I even seen Sixers fans saying they don't care. So,
because they want a chip at the end of it. That's what it is.
If you could put up a 30-10, not playing the Raptors in the playoffs would be impressive. It's the only team you can perform against in the playoffs.
Luka.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. SGA should be a close second.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But all right, everybody. That ends number 71 here for us. Josh Allen for MVP. But thank you all again for tuning in. Keep on downloading. Keep on commenting to our videos. All you Miami fans, definitely have some.
I got some birds for y'all. That's what I do.
Especially
all you
if you guys
Miami
lose
fans
again.
that didn't exist until this year.
For y'all.
Yeah. But thank you all again for tuning in. Have a great rest of the week. Also to a happy new year. Happy New Year again. But see y'all next week for number 72.
I love you, Josh Allen.
There you go. I have to believe that. All right, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.